Join me. Hine matovu manai, Shabbat Hine matovu manai, Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
my friends. We can hear you, but we can see you, but we cannot hear you. We have, just for your information, we started and will be throughout on mute for the entirety of our time together tonight, not to silence you. Hopefully this awakens in you the desire to sing, because now, you don't have to worry about anybody hearing you. But we hope that the Spirit will move you tonight, and that just because we can't hear each other, because we don't want to have interference or distraction, we still hope that you will just sing at the top of your lungs and know that your voices are lifting up together at the exact same moment. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And blessings to all of our Temple Israel family, wherever you may be, wherever you may be at this moment throughout Columbus and beyond. And we pray that you are safe and healthy, surrounded by the spirit of Shabbat, and hopefully with some people that are dear to you tonight. You are our beloved community. And though we feel more than anything, we wish that we could be in one room together. We are doing a lot to figure this out fast about how it is that we can be virtually together. So I used to talk about getting proximate in a totally different way. That meant reaching out to people who are in need. And you know what? Right now, it's us. We need to get proximate with each other and figure out how to be in each other's lives, even in this moment. So though the exigencies of the day prohibit us from being closer than a computer screen apart, we know that we can and we should be together, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So we are grateful to be here. Our country and our world are changing day by day and week by week, and we are having to make difficult choices in this most difficult of times. We're a community that's adjusting our sails as we go, and it is no simple task on every level. We have to take appreciation for the fact that each of us on this planet right now is going through physical, mental, psycho-emotional, and spiritual trauma of some kind. And no wonder we might find ourselves exhausted. And this is really why we need Shabbat and each other. I said it last week, but it bears repeating that we, as your clergy, staff, and board of Temple Israel, are so grateful for your understanding of our needing to make challenging choices. And it has felt nothing short of jarring for us because we're forcing ourselves to do the exact opposite of our nature, which is to gather and to schmooze and pray together and learn together and eat together, for crying out loud, and schmooze together some more and more and more. And we all feel a little bit like fish out of water. Not that there's been a lack of water this week, these past days. But my friends, we are going to weather this storm together. And I pray, and I know you pray, that that time will be our friend. And in time we learn how to be the best souls on this earth that we possibly can be, within our families and within our communities and within the greater world. So soon enough, we will be swaying next to each other and singing songs and eating the oneg together and figuring out what happened. But in the meantime, it's happening. And we are proximate, even though we have a computer screen between us. So for now, we create this sacred communal space for ourselves and for other people. So being present, taking a deep breath into this moment, I highly suggest that you do just that. Just take a breath. Breathe out the week. Breathe in what is sustaining and what is real, this moment that we have together. And as I said, Shabbat is here for you. And we are all here tonight and always for each other. If you have Shabbat candles at home or anything like them, we hope that you will light them right now as the cantor makes the bracha, the blessing, over these candles. And as you take them out and get yourself situated, maybe you can put them in your screen so we can see which ones you're lighting. Being careful, of course. So let's chant this bracha together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat
Amen.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Please follow along with the screen. We have the magic of visual tefillah and the magic of Zoom, and we want you to sing and dance and see your friends and use the chat box if you will. And I'm going to ask you to use that chat box to talk to your friends. You can either make it individual. You can just talk to that friend across the way and give them a little Shabbat Shalom, or you can chat with everyone, and you can specify that by clicking on everyone or the individuals that you want to communicate with. And I want to start by just asking you all one question, which you can sound out about on the chat. And the question is this: what is the one word which describes what you want to take with you into this Shabbat? The one word which describes where you are and what you want to carry with you. So let's embrace Shabbat and anchor ourselves in this storm-tossed week, and let this spirit of togetherness carry us into this Shabbat with Lecha Dodi.
Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 Likrat Kala. Ya la 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 Bnei Shabbat. Bnei Shabbat Lekavena. Shamor Vezavot.
Shabbat Shalom, and if we're standing, we remain standing for Baruch Hu. Finding East, friends. Can we find East? Having a seat, Ahavat Olam. There is a great love for this world.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema
Yisrael,
Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchutto Le'olam Laed.
See, there are people in here.
Ve'ata et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha v'chomer levecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטות אפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's read these words together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. As we virtually join hands, friends, we sing Mi Chamocha.
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, כאן ישראל.
I think the cantor's waiting for me to say something because I always say something here. And the only thing I can really say to you, my friends, is that, you know, when I turn to Hashkivenu and in my own bracha, there's a sense of like just a lovely net that casts its way around the people that I know are in pain and in need. And all I ask is for you to let yourselves hop in there and let us carry you a little bit. Let us just kind of sweep you up and be embraced. You don't have to hold it all. You don't have to always be the one who's swimming and swimming and swimming. And on this Shabbat, we need to be carried. We need to be gently part of the flow. And I hope that tonight and these last days, even as challenging as they've been, adjusting to all of this stream that we seem to want to, at least I want to sometimes swim up against. I also know how good it feels just to be held, just to trust and to let ourselves be held by the Shefa, by God's natural flow, and to trust even this, even the uncertainty can you let yourselves just be held by Hashkivenu and Shabbat?
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let's try that again. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Hashkivenu one more time. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu vel kol amo Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
Shabbat, לדורותם ולעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, דודי לעולם. אישי תגני עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפל.
Before we come into our time for private meditation in a few minutes, there's so much beautiful Torah that's being shared online right now, especially about this, as Jewish minds try to think about how to make sense of this, and all minds are. Every human being on the planet is wrestling with this right now. And Eva Saulitis, I don't know if I pronounced her name correctly, in a place in a something she wrote called Becoming Earth. She wrote, at 100, the poet Stanley Kunitz wrote, the storm we had the other day was rather spectacular. I felt it was somehow a message. It seemed so threatening at first, and then suddenly it was just a little downpour. Then it dissolved into a quiet, peaceful late afternoon. I interpret it positively. I had felt a sense of foreboding, certainly for the last few months. And psychologically, this seemed to say, stop thinking negatively about whatever's happening now. Find out what you can do and do it. So I want to posit that with all the creative energy we have, we actually use it all right now for this moment. And let us find out what we can do and do it in prayer. You can either stand or remain seated wherever you are for our tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imavot, U'mevii Gula Livnei B'Naham, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
A few quiet moments of tefillah on our own, and then be seated whenever you feel you want to be.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Machatazi. I can't hear her though. Shalom.
Shalom Rav
Folks, if you wouldn't mind just muting yourselves for now, and we'll sing quietly in place.
Shalom Shalom Israel Shalom Israel Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam.
Friends, I found something this week which really helped me, helped coalesce some of the thoughts that I was sort of bombarded with, whether I was awake or asleep this week. I thought I'd maybe open up another something that we can talk about in the chat box with everyone, or just take into our Shabbat with us this weekend, or maybe even into the week. But I found this by Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi, who asked in a passage from an essay he wrote, he asked this question: how can we become intimate with God through the aspect of time? How can we become intimate with God through the aspect of time? And I've been thinking a lot about time, and so I'm grateful that he answers it this way. Today, he says, it is critical to be clear on this because we are bitterly alienated by our relationship with time. Global markets equate time with money. As they say, time is money. All of the holiness and majesty of time, perspective, patience, our capacity for compassion, through which time transforms us, has been lost on us. Were it not for the vestige of Shabbat, he says, we would have lost our last refuge from the pressure of work time, the commercialization of our lives. And he goes on to say that we are taxed by busy work and burdened by endless tasks, oppressed by uninspiring labor, exhausting and distorting our human bodies and souls. Instead of living according to what he calls organic time, natural and healthy and divinely overseen, we live lives where every hour must be productive, fruitful, helpful, or useful, lest it appear to be a waste of time in the eyes of the taskmasters. Even times of rest, he says, even times of rest, sleep, and relaxation, we justify as necessary only to improve, maintain, and strengthen our work. We labor like slaves bonded to servitude. So his answer, Reb Zalman, he says at the end of this passage, he says, thank God we have the calendar, the Jewish calendar, and sacred times. Embracing these holy days is to be, he says, in possession of the tree of life. So there's a lot to take in there from Reb Zalman, and he was pretty prolific. And I wish we had him helping us through this moment, as we wish so many of our ancestors could be here, pointing the way. I've thought of everybody from Moshe Rabbeinu. I would like his guidance at a time like this to tap us on the shoulder. Wouldn't mind Abe Lincoln. I'm sure we could use Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah about now, and all of our ancestors and our grandparents, and maybe our great-great-grandparents, just showing us the way forward. But what I love about Reb Zalman here is that he says, he talks about the fact that we're so enslaved to our work and we just don't know how to slow down. And there's something to me at once powerful and at the same time kind of quaint about this. Powerful because it's the ultimate statement about the necessity of Shabbat in the course of our busy and very distracted and seemingly mundane lives. But quaint because, oy gewalt, it feels like a million years ago since we were actually rushing from place to place. Now we have certain restrictions that are very, very real that make it so that we can't. And I note this because I think it is an extraordinary moment, one unlike we have probably ever seen in our lifetimes, and please God, never again. We were rushing place to place, we were ignoring our bodies, and they were asking us to slow down. We were oblivious to our family members maybe, and our friends who wanted our loving attention. The good old days, right? The good old days when we could not even take a breath long enough to say which end was up. And now we have nothing but time. Please God, time to use well, not wasting time, but using time. So who had the time in the past? Well, maybe we decided we didn't. But now since we do, it's something in front of us that we have to take seriously, and that manifests itself in a very different way that it may have in the past. I notice it in myself. And even now, part of us may long for that time when we were just rushing and distracted, because it was at least known to us what we were not doing, not stopping. And even though we were living frantically, and that is not ideal, and we were consumed by that busy work and burdened by endless tasks, it was at least predictable. And now it's not. For all that was not ideal about it, we knew how to live that kind of existence. And I want us to just think about that a little bit together. Because now, only a few days after this epic pandemic has swept the world and reached us, my friends, we find ourselves uniquely, as Reb Zalman says, in possession of the tree of life. We weren't before. We didn't have that tree of life. He's saying, all of a sudden, every minute, if you possess the tree of life, if you are rooted to this moment, if you extend yourself, you are part of that tree. You have the possession of that tree of life. And all of a sudden, every minute is a little bit different than it was ever before. Every breath, suddenly a blessing. Every phone call, a lifeline. Every gesture of attention, a gift of recognition. And the nature of time has changed, in fact, because we have changed. Now we're in possession full time of that tree of life, and we see that blossoming. There's something happening in the random form of random acts of loving kindness. We're seeing it when we take a walk 6 feet apart, or shout hello across the street to that neighbor that we never said hello to before. We see that tree, it is blossoming in the form of virtual tuck-ins with your cantor and the youngest kids of our congregation and their exhausted parents who are so grateful for a little respite in their day. The tree is blossoming in the form of online Torah learning and sacred sharing, and in the form of the canals of Venice, Italy, which are suddenly sparklingly clear once again after being mired in the murky sewage clogging the channels. And our hearts and our prayers are going out to those people who I'm sure cannot even appreciate it in this moment. But they do know how to sing from their rooftops and from their balconies. And I hope you saw that, because holy moly, I think I may have posted it online even for our congregation. You have to see these people singing in Italy. You have to see this. This is what time can do. The time was always there, but we were not. We were maybe absent from it. And now the tree of life is in our possession, and in the form of smogless skies and drastic cutting of carbon emissions over the cities of Beijing and New York City. And you can hear, if you're listening with the heart of the tree of life, a collective sigh of relief comes in the form of friends who were reuniting in meaningful ways by text messages, and families who are wishing each other Shabbat Shalom by video conference. This is quality time. This is tree of lifetime, because all of a sudden we have experienced that transformative properties that are in this tree. So I want to submit that we are actually in possession also of a global reset. And I don't think that's too huge a statement to make. For all that is frightening and daunting about this moment, so it is a potential gift if we make it that way. So we start by taking care of this tree, our bodies. Please hydrate. Please go to sleep after I finish talking. And then stay put, because we care about you. And actually sharing is not caring these days. We don't need to be close to each other. We are going to be adaptive, and we are going to be nimble, and we're going to be awesome. And then we have to keep, it's that oxygen mask popping out from over your head in, when we used to take planes places. And you got to put it on yourself before you can take care of anybody else. So please take care of this tree first. And then our branches will reach out to the other trees, our community. We're going to extend ourselves in new and creative ways to impact others in this true moment of possibility. So I'm going to ask you to ponder this Shabbat and the next many Shabbatot that we will be socially distancing, but spiritually connecting, as the cantor reminded us last week. And we have to pay attention. I just want us to be more mindful of every possibility that this tree of life holds for us. What are our observations? Is anything new? In fact, everything is new if we look at it that way. What's new about ourselves? What's new about our families? Have we learned anything new about our friendships? What is new that we never saw about our institutions before? Is there anything new about this government? Is there anything new about this planet? Are we hearing something new from the divine God self? What is new here? And can we look at it from up in that tree? Here we are, in that beautiful canopy of leaves, looking down on this creation that God has made for us. And we, in fact, are the ones who will make this time count. So I take this moment as an invitation, as amazing as that may sound, an invitation for really living this life and not being afraid. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to make a Misha Berach, my friends. I hope that you'll add the names of your loved ones to this list that we always offer. And certainly if you've heard a story this week about someone that you heard getting sick, add their name quietly to the list. If you know of somebody who may be imperiled by this virus, send out a blessing to them too. And if you yourself are a little nervous, or if you're not feeling well, this bracha is for you. For a world very much in need of healing, let's sing our Misha Berach.
Make us hearts of strength, who bless the ones before. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Know that we're all muted, and I want you to just in that quiet space, please say the names of the people for whom you are wishing healing. Say them out loud in your quiet space. We're going to add for our congregation, Harav Reuven, Shlomo ben Mendel Valea, Naomi bat Miriam v'Harav Yosef, Gittel bat Yehuda v'Chaya, Shraga ben Alexander, Yentafega bat Rachel, Eliyahu ben Sarah, Yaakov ben Moshe, Norma Agranoff, Pat Cottle, Lily Kovitz, Jim Dowell, Michael Goshenauer, Kiana Greenwald, Jerry Gutterman, Ethan Kadish, Ruth Kahn, Linda Kellner, Mark Cutler, Fran Kreiselman, Linda Mendel, Anthony Paneth, Clark Patton, Helene Paselnik, Fred Summer, Lee Tenenbaum, Annette Turner, Barry Turner, Sandy Tizer, Fran Ziegler, and Stan Ziegler.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Refuah Shlema, total healing. And for our country, also in need of healing, and we can extend this. Let's just extend it to everyone. That second paragraph that you see in front of you, let's make this blessing. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation and all nations merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. Grant our doctors also, I want to say, for the healthcare professionals, grant them great strength at this time. May our leaders govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country and all countries be sound in body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. And also a prayer for the state of Israel. At the bottom of the page, we read, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shelter it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in all the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Su Israel Begala. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Su Israel Begala.
Amen. As we're able, we rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We're seated as we turn to Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. And this, at this moment, I'd like to ask anyone who is in the period of the Shloshim, the 30 days, excuse me, I want to start before that. But if you are a mourner who has recently entered mourning, if you're in the 7 days of Shiva, please rise so that we can recognize your loss. And if you are in the 30-day period of the Shloshim, if you would please rise so we can recognize your loss. And if you're in the 11-month period after having lost somebody you love, please rise so we can recognize your loss. We then turn to our Kaddish list. And tonight is the yahrzeit for Mildred Abel, Esther Abramovitz, Gussie Catcher Adele, Natalie Levy Altman, Michael Barnaby, Benjamin Berman, Manuel Brandt, Barney Davis. We're thinking of Eleanor Essman, Cynthia Fuel, Edward E. Frank, Catherine Friedman, Charles Gabby, Dita Robinson Halpern, Anita Ingalls, Jackie Isaac, Israel Khan, Dora Cohane, Louis J. Krakoff, Lottie Lekish, Eli Levison, Neil Manson, Joellen McMillan. We're remembering Julia Paselnik, Gertrude Rose, Sanford Rose, Mildred Elaine Schneider, Frank Spira, and Miriam Tabachnik, and Eunice Tenenbaum. If there are other names that we neglected to mention, if you would unmute yourself so that we can hear those names now, please do. So we rise as we're able for Kaddish Yatom, and we say together, Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'olma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye techol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'olma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, all the inhabitants of the world, and we say, Amen. May the source of peace, who brings peace to all who mourn, comfort you if you are grieving. All those souls who are lifting up their voices, God bless them with comfort and peace, and we say, Amen. Please be seated, friends. And if I look like I've been still all night, it's only because I can't move. I'm pinned behind my desk and the computer trying to make sure everything runs. And here we are now just before Kiddush. And in this moment, I would like to be able to tell you about a few things that are going to be happening after Kiddush, actually. But the cantor and I would like to add a new minhag, a new custom, as long as we're online. How about that, cantor? Can we just say as long as we're online? Maybe it carries over, but it should be soon that we have to discontinue this because we're all just together. But we wanted to wish you, as parents do to their children, we wanted to put our collective spiritual hands on your spiritual kepis, on your hands, your heads on your shoulders. Know that we would like nothing more than to be together, but in this moment, we hope we come together for the threefold priestly benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
You can say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'el Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May it be God's will. May God lift up God's face to you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you feel the countenance of Adonai, God's face turning towards you and embracing you in the path of peace and security. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
If you have something delicious to drink, now would be the time. Find your wine or your grape juice. If it's only a Diet Coke, we won't make exactly this blessing. But if you can, find the means for Kiddush, and then we're going to break bread together as well. So let's sing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron ma'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher netziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim, to life friends.
As you can, I have some challah. Do you, wait, let me get the challah.
We'll wait. You have a captive audience.
Yes. I got. Also, my friends, I don't know if my mother-in-law would be proud of this shiny, polished Kiddush cup that was my husband's great-great-grandfather, who was a rabbi, Rabbi Henry Moses. What year is this from? 1860, this Kiddush cup. So, l'chaim, see this opportunity to be in my home and see this very, very beautiful antique Kiddush cup.
Mazal tov, and you also had time to polish it, so
well, that was
extra props.
Rabbi J.
For the cancer. That's me,
Baruch
Motzi.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
L'chaim, friends. We wanted to tell you before we go a couple songs as the cantor sings us out, and we want you to enjoy your time over Shabbat with friends and family, either virtually or actually in the same place. But we do want to invite you to go to our Temple Israel website, which now has all new programming just for this moment. So we hope that you'll see something every day, possibilities for every single day. We've been really hard at work, and I'm grateful, grateful, grateful to the Temple Israel staff and board for helping make phone calls to congregants possible. You're going to be getting a phone call from somebody in your congregation, or you'll be making them, and we appreciate that so much. You're also going to have opportunities for people of all ages to engage in Torah study, in singing opportunities, in just being together to reflect. So we really hope you'll turn to that page. We hope you'll also go like us on our YouTube channel. The more people we get on our YouTube channel, actually, the greater the possibilities for us actually to connect. You have to have a certain number. So please go there and like it and tell your friends to like it. And tomorrow morning, 2 opportunities to hang out virtually. One with the cantor for Tat Shabbat at 10 o'clock. And the second will be Jewish meditation, also by Zoom. So believe it or not, there are so many things that we can do virtually, and we're really so happy you joined us tonight. Shabbat Shalom. And we love you guys, and we hope that you will please contact us. Reach out to us if you haven't heard from us yet. We want to hear from you. Know that we are always here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. This beautiful text. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, but the main thing is not to be afraid. We are together. We are here for each other. Kol העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד לה. והעיקר, לא לפחד לה.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for making our Shabbat so wonderful. Be safe, be healthy. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.